We hope. Before Facebook stops it. Anyway. Okay. That's not helping. It's not helping at all. This is the exceptionally boring part where I get to do all of the sharing and technical frivolity. It is boring, but necessary.
Well, Kevin is the one that told me about this show. I didn't even realize you had this, so I'm glad I found it.
5 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep. We took a major break over the summer. First time in a long time. Trying to get back into the groove here.
Yeah.
You ready for tough questions?
I hope so.
Come on. something. Okay. 1, 2. Now you'll know we're starting.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through, but not so doggone seasoned that he won't try something new? A man who's old enough to know
And young enough to do.
well, it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
Well, it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you want a man with spirit who is not afraid to fight?
A man whose record shows that he will fight for what is right.
A loyal man who'll bring the job a fresh new point of view? Well, it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
Cause it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
And do you deny to any man the right he's guaranteed to be elected president, no matter what his creed?
It's promised in the Bill of Rights to which we must be true.
So it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
And it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you like a man who answers straight, a man who's always fair?
We'll measure him against the others, and when you compare, you cast your vote for Kennedy and a change that's overdue. So it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
Yes, it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Welcome from my humble second bedroom here in the Saucon Valley, part of the Lehigh Valley in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, part of these United States. Currently, North American continent, Western Hemisphere on this planet Earth, the only one we have. Third rock from the sun in the Terran solar system, part of the Milky Way galaxy. This is the Kennedy Effect, live with you for the 2nd of November, 2025. The 2nd of November already. What has happened to 2025? Although if you listen to this program, you know that the next 4 years can't go fast enough. We can't get it over with quick enough. It is Halloween has come and gone. We hope you had a fun and safe Halloween. We hope you did not get too sick or too many cavities on your candy hauls. We hope that you had a wonderful, what is becoming, I think, an ever increasingly popular American holiday. Thanksgiving just 3 weeks, 3+ weeks away. Christmas shortly, of course, after that. We welcome you all to the program. Let's tell you who you're listening to. It is the Kennedy Effect, live with you for the 2nd of November, 2025. We are live right now on the Facebook pages of Our Revolution Pennsylvania, the TCP Media Group, Ghost Claw Productions, and of course my home group Facebook page for all things that surround this program, The Kennedy Effect on Facebook, plus the 100 other places that we have shared the program across the Facebook universe. We are so big and I have such a big, massive ego that not one YouTube channel can control it. We need 2 of them. We are live right now on 2 YouTube channels. The YouTube channel for GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio, as well as The Kennedy Effect on YouTube. You can watch us all of these places live right now and participate in the program. The audio of the program, of course, blasts around the globe via 2 global internet radio stations, hot101.net. Our name is our web address, hot101.net, hot101.net. You can listen at our website, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You can listen through our apps as well, Apple App Store, Google Play Store for Android devices, and the TuneIn radio app if you should have any type of device that is not Apple or Android. And of course you can tell Alexa to play hot101.net. GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio .live, GCPR.live. You can listen to us there, and of course on our Android app. We are with you for a minimum of an hour, could go longer. The Villain's View, of course, comes your way from 9 p.m. It is 2025, and Tuesday is Election Day. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, what do you mean it's Election Day? It's 2025. We never have a year off, folks. There are elections every single year. There's 2 elections every single year, and they all mean something. I put out a call, I believe it was on Friday, for local candidates to join me, and I am somewhat sad to admit that my cousin was sad enough to take up the invitation. So he's here now, my cousin Keith, who is a current town council member in my original hometown of Phillipsburg, New Jersey, and is running for re-election. We're going to talk about local politics and the importance of off-year elections. But then again, he just said there are no off years. You're right. There are no off years. There are odd year elections, but there are no off years. And especially, I think, given the current situation from the national government down, these county, judicial, local elections nationwide quite possibly have never meant more. You have Prop 50 in California, gubernatorial elections in New Jersey and Virginia, as well as legislative races. This is an extremely important election year, and we hope, at least I hope if it comes out the way I think it might come out, a bellwether for what's going to happen in 2026, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So first off, sir, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
As a first-time guest, I'm going to ask you the very first question that we ask all of our first-time guests, and that is, who is Keith Kennedy, and how did you get here?
Let's see. Well, first of all, let me say a couple of shows ago, you referred to me as your much older cousin, I believe. Mm-hmm. I'm not that much older. But I'm older, I'll admit that.
I've gotten older. Almost everybody is younger than me now. But there's only a few of you left who are actually older.
Yeah. So, as you said, I'm a current councilman in Phillipsburg. I was elected 4 years ago. I'm proud to say that I'm one of 2 Democrats that were elected in all of Warren County and currently serving in all of Warren County, and we're hoping to change that on Election Day. 4 years ago, I really had no interest in other than being on the sidelines in politics and, contributing to shows like this and offering my opinion. But as far as running, I really had no interest. And the town council in Phillipsburg at the time was all Republican. They had a Republican mayor. And politics in Phillipsburg could be very nasty. And in my opinion, they had a couple of councilmen that really weren't conducting themselves, I think, in the best interest of the town. They were bullying people. I called them mini MAGAs, pretty much. So I was always of the opinion, if you don't like what's going on, you have to do something about it. I was recently retired. I had the time, and I was like, okay, I'm going to give back to my town, and I'm going to run for council. And I was honored when the people of Phillipsburg elected me.
Tell me about Phillipsburg. I think it happens to be a very prototypical, small, formerly industrial town, with some industry remaining, but certainly not what it was in its heyday. It is a town, it is my birth town. It is my original hometown, albeit not my current, but my original. I happen to think it is a town that is, at the risk of being repetitive, very, very prototypical of what Reaganism did to this country. Stripping the industrial heart right out of the country, devastating unions, devastating families, the educational systems. But those are my opinions, not yours. Tell me about 2025 and recent Phillipsburg, New Jersey, especially, again, in my opinion, as a bellwether, as a prototypical small industrial town.
Well, as you said, when we were growing up in Phillipsburg, it was an industrial town, manufacturing town.
Nuclear target.
Yeah.
Had the distinction of being a nuclear target.
Yeah. With Ingersoll Rand.
Absolutely. A Soviet.
Major employer. Yeah. So, unfortunately, as you said, too, those jobs went away. And what we're finding ourselves in right now is almost like Phillipsburg's trying to find its identity. I look at other riverfront towns, New Hope, Lambertville, Milford, Frenchtown, Easton, all of them thriving. They have, undergoing transformations. They have shops, businesses, restaurants opening up.
Construction.
People coming in from outside to tourists. And I think that's a very much could be Phillipsburg too, but my Republican opponents and the current Republican people on council seem to be stuck in the past. They're clinging to the past, and there has to be a new way of thinking for Phillipsburg to move forward. I mean, we look across the river, and Easton had their Bacon Fest today. They have all kinds of events like that. The downtown area of Easton is thriving, and there's no reason it can't happen on our side of the river too. If you could just get people in a position that have a vision like that can have the town realize its potential. I've heard since way back when we were kids how much potential Phillipsburg had. Well, it's time to act on that potential and be open to new ideas and new ways of doing things.
Has Phillipsburg reached a point where it either acts on that potential or it doesn't have any anymore?
It does.
Is it at an inflection point, do you think?
Well, here's an example. I don't know if you heard it. There was a controversy for years of a developer wanting to put a warehouse up on our waterfront. Okay, which again would try to return us back to manufacturing and
Well, warehousing is not having worked in warehousing my entire life. Warehousing is not manufacturing.
It's not. And that's how they were trying to sell it. That it'll bring jobs. It'll be rateable. And then, as much as they said it would be a rateable, then the developer was asking for a pilot, which is payment in lieu of taxes. So we weren't going to accomplish anything with it anyway, other than ruining our riverfront
infrastructure and riverfront. What was left of the riverfront to be developed, which would be one of the first places that new residents would probably want to live, would be right on the riverfront.
That's right. And again, so anyway, what happened?
And communities are built on families and residents. They're not built on warehouses.
Right. So my fellow Democratic Councilman Lee Clark, he and I have voted against this warehouse. Obviously, it would, the pollution in the downtown area, the truck traffic, the location of it would just be horrible for our town. And the Republicans were sticking their guns and saying we needed this, we need to develop that area and bring jobs in and so forth. And now, all of a sudden, with a week to go in the election, they've done a complete about-face, and the developer is selling the land back to the town, and they're saying it's going to be left as recreational, which to me is just a ploy to get votes. Okay. I haven't seen the details of this deal. I don't know what the town is going to have to pay for it, and I'll believe it when I see it. But that's where we stand now.
I shouldn't make these broad statements as if they are your opinions. They are mine, and I should be much more careful in stating them. But when we see the redevelopment that's taken place in places like Easton and Bethlehem, God knows Allentown is trying. I don't think they're succeeding, to be honest with you, but they're trying. And other places around the valley, around the Lehigh Valley, I should be more specific in my terms too. We literally have people all around the globe watching this, and I'm referring to these places as if everyone knows where they're talking about. But maybe I should start there. Where is Phillipsburg? Where is it? We'll give people a geographic idea of where we're talking about.
Phillipsburg is in northwest New Jersey, uh, right on the Delaware River, across from Easton, Pennsylvania. Um, Not far. It's kind of equal distance between Philadelphia and New York. Um, Not far from the Pocono Mountains, and I think it's in a unique location. It has a lot of appeal because of that, being a waterfront town, being between those two major cities. Um, there's all kinds of opportunity here for development and for Phillipsburg to thrive. And I'm not giving up yet. I think I'm a positive guy, and I can see that happening.
I imagine that we could probably do 3 hours on this alone, but is there a way to describe the changes that you've seen in a town like Phillipsburg from the time that you and I were younger until now? And again, at the risk of being repetitive, it really does seem to me that Phillipsburg really is one of those poster towns for what Reaganism did to decimate this country and fundamentally change this country and really remove the industrial heart out of the country and turn us from an industry-based economy to a service-based economy. Do you have when you're out in the campaign trailer, when you're talking to folks, are those discussions that you have, do folks remember Phillipsburg's past? Can you explain to them what it was like when you were younger?
Oh, let's see. When I was younger, there were several industries in town. As I mentioned, Ingersoll Rand. There was Baker Chemical. Most of the people in town worked in the town, and that's the biggest change. Now, most of Phillipsburg's population works from outside of the town. Again, everything was local. I think I don't see us obviously getting back to that. You mentioned the Reagan years, and I think unions, with their wage demands and so forth, just kind of force these industries to relocate. And of course, Reagan and some of the other higher up politicians made it easy for them to relocate and actually move out of the country, not just out of Phillipsburg. So that's pretty much how it changed, and not just in Phillipsburg. I think all across the country.
When I left town, one of the last things I did as an act of government was to study how to free up more housing for private use that wasn't Section 8 housing. It wasn't subsidized housing. And in the course of my study in this, ad hoc commission, ended up realizing that nearly 3/4 of all the people that lived in town, now this is going back 30 years. Yes, about 30 years, were on some type of government assistance. In a population that I believe when I moved away was in the 14,000 range. 3/4 were on some form of government assistance. How does one build a community based on that?
Well, what we're facing right now is that almost half the town are renters, not homeowners. And what we have to do is work with our state and federal officials to look for programs to bring in to give these people a path to home ownership. Because right now, renters, they come and they go, they come and they go. If you become a homeowner, you're invested and you stay. And I think that's what we have to change. That's what we have to look for a solution right there. So we're not nearly half renters, that we have more homeowners in town.
When you look across the river to Easton, Pennsylvania, you see a lot of new construction. like a proper amount of new construction, as well as older buildings that are being rehabbed to be turned into residences. A painfully small amount of that are for home ownership. They are largely rental, lease and rental. So I don't know that that's the answer either. But do you look across the river and see that kind of redevelopment and think to yourself, why not us?
Oh, absolutely. I've had a couple of meetings with Sal Panto after I was elected to council, and trying to see how Easton went about things and see if we could replicate that in Phillipsburg. And he said he's encouraging us. He said, listen, if Phillipsburg thrives, it helps Easton.
It absolutely does. Yeah, the two help each other.
Yeah. I mean, you see that, or you don't have to go further down the Delaware River. New Hope. Everybody knows New Hope. It's a people come from all over to visit New Hope. Mm-hmm. And across the river, Lambertville was kind of down the dumps, and that transformation's taken place there. It's kind of spilled over from the New Hope side of the river, and it can happen here, like I said before.
Is there a way to quantify what kind of an asset the river itself can be?
Oh, just the beauty of it. At the where Phillipsburg is, it's not just the Delaware River, but on the eastern side, the Lehigh River, you can see it empties out right there. Mm-hmm. It's, you have the two bridges there. You have the Route 22 bridge. You have the famous Free Bridge in Phillipsburg. Just and the location. I've had people from out of town. We have a train ride that for tourists goes right along the river. And I've spoken to people that have come in for this train ride, and they comment to me all the time what a beautiful downtown area we have, and has so much potential. And again, that's fine potential. You have to act on the potential. You have to move the town forward. And listen, I told people, there was an article that asking us to describe why we're running for office. And the simple answer for me was, I love my hometown and I want to see it succeed. So that's it.
Politics can get pretty rough in Phillipsburg. I remember being a part of it. And I remember taking my lumps, and I remember throwing some lumps as well. It seems to me that there is an increasing, I should say, I guess it depends on your point of view. I kind of can make an argument in both directions that running for office in a current climate is both running for office, but the sense of running for office for the sake of service, the idea of serving and service, seems to have, I think, taken a bit of a mini rebirth. The idea of community service, the idea of public service, and serving through these public offices. Is that something that's driving you, the sense of service? You said you're retired now. You have time on your hands, but
yeah.
I mean, what about the sense of service?
Well, you hit the nail right on the head there. In my opinion, Republicans, not just in Phillipsburg, but across the country, they're interested in running for office. They're interested in getting elected. When they get there, they seem to lose interest. They're into holding power, period. I have right here in my office on the wall, I have a quotation, and I think a lot of politicians should read this again, and it's from the last line of the Gettysburg Address, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. You are elected to serve the people, to represent them. Look at the House of Representatives right now. Do they look like they're representing the people with a shutdown? And what party controls both houses?
All three branches.
Correct.
Not just both houses, but all three
That's
branches.
Right. And the White House.
Yeah, all the Article 3 branches, all first, second, and third articles.
Yeah. So, that's, I realized from the get-go, and listen, I take calls from residents all the time, and if I don't have an answer for them, I try to get them an answer. That's why they elected me, and that's why I serve.
Phillipsburg wasn't always a purple dot in a red sea. Warren County wasn't always red. Northwest New Jersey wasn't always red. What happened?
That's a good question. And it's almost sad. You'll see the election results come in on Tuesday night, well, especially the next day, and throughout the rest of Warren County, you'll see Republicans elected all throughout the county, and on the Democratic side, it'll say no petition filed, because they know they have no chance of getting elected in some of these municipalities. So people don't even bother to run. And that, of course, has to change somehow, some way. Phillipsburg, yes, is purple. It goes back and forth. I think we're making some inroads in some of the other municipalities like Washington Borough and Hackettstown. But in rural Warren County, yes, it is dead red right now.
Would you consider Phillipsburg and the county as a whole to be one of those sarcastically shining examples of voting against your own self-interest?
Absolutely. I think some of these people with their MAGA hats, I just don't understand it. To me, I'm like, do you really think Donald Trump cares about you? He's happy you bought his hat. He's happy you bought his gold sneakers or his Chinese Bible.
I was going to say everything made in China.
He is playing you for a fool. Okay, in my opinion. Well, it's not just my opinion. It's to me, it's a fact. And he plays on people's fears. He tells them what they want to hear. I think, in large part, I think some of the news outlets do the same thing. There are people that get up and from morning to night, all they listen to and watch is Fox News. And it gets drilled and drilled and drilled into their head. And they're blind to what he's doing. And,
blind by mistake or willfully?
I think it's blind by mistake. I think it's just they're fed this propaganda like day after day, hour after hour. I think part of what happened is years ago when the fairness doctrine went out the window, where news sources had to give a balanced view, that created shows like Rush Limbaugh and all these conservative, programs.
Exactly why it was stopped and forced. Yeah, exactly why it stopped being enforced.
Yeah. So, I think. Listen. I have an uncle in town, and he's very conservative, and I know for a fact he watches Fox News day after day after day. And I was wondering, I wonder if my uncle's going to vote for me. But he said he was. But anyway, he's but talking to him.
Blood is thicker than water.
Yeah, talking about politics, he's very conservative. Now, when it comes to on a municipal level, it's a different story, because what do people care about on a municipal level? How high are my taxes? My garbage being picked up? Is crime a problem? Things like that.
Condition of the potholes.
Correct.
Sidewalks, snow removal.
Yeah. I knocked on a door earlier in the campaign here, and that's exactly what a guy said. He pointed to in front of his house. When are they going to fix this pothole out here? Now, all these other big issues, but you get elected. Okay, I'm going to talk to DPW about the pothole in front of your house. That's why you serve.
And government, American government, is very intentionally layered. The national government is never going to fix that pothole.
No.
That's a local issue.
That's right.
And government is layered intentionally, I think, to protect us as well. When the national government goes off the rails, you hope your state government is there to help you. And if the state government goes off the rails, you hope your national and county governments are there to help you.
Never more than now. People all over, listen, Democrats, you can wring your hands, stomp your feet about Donald Trump. That does nothing. What has to happen is, on Tuesday, if you haven't voted already, that's when you do something about it. And it has to come from the bottom up right now. School board, town and city council elections. In New Jersey, governor's race, very important governor's race. And next year, the midterms. And on up the line. And after the midterms, if Democrats can make inroads in both houses, Donald Trump better change his tune or he's going to be in trouble.
6:32, this is the Kennedy Effect, live with you for the 2nd of November, 2025. 2nd of November. My gosh, 2 months left in 2025. But as we said, this 4-year term can't go fast enough. 1 nearly down. 3 more long ones to go.
Mm-hmm.
This is we are live right now on the Facebook pages of Our Revolution Pennsylvania, the TCP Media Group, Ghost Claw Productions, and our home group Facebook page for all things that surround our program. It's always there. Just because we're not on the air doesn't mean our Facebook page shuts down. It's always there, and it really is the best source of maybe I'm giving away my age that Facebook is my home, but anything that surrounds the program when we're not with you live, go to our home group Facebook page, The Kennedy Effect, on Facebook. We've shared the program to around 100 other places around the Facebook universe, and a big thank you to every single member of every other group, every administrator, everyone who allows us to be part of the Facebook, of their Facebook universe. We thank you. We couldn't do it without you. And we're very glad and very happy that you allow us to be part of your corner of the Facebook universe. So thank you all for that. We are also live, as my background noise is cut out on me. My trick background noise is to keep the radio station going. We are also live on 2 YouTube channels because one just simply isn't enough. We're live on 2 YouTube channels. The YouTube channel for Ghost Claw Productions Radio, GCPR. You can just go to YouTube and search GCPR or search Ghost Claw Productions and you will find us there. We are also live on our YouTube channel, The Kennedy Effect, on YouTube. You can find us both places, watch live, comment, be part of the program. And again, your comments and questions in the comments section, I will see them right here. I will ask your questions. I will reference your comments. Randall mentions that he shared the program in his area, the Delaware County, Pennsylvania area, as he always does, and we appreciate very much. That's how we survive here on the program. The audio portion of the program, of course, blasts out around 2 global radio internets. Try that again. Global internet radio stations. I got my words all messed up. Hot101.net, our name is our web address. Apple App Store, Google Play Store, and the TuneIn radio app. Of course, you can tell Alexa to play Hot101.net. Immediately following us, the music returns on Hot101.net. As well as GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio, GCPR.live. We are live on our website right now, GCPR.live, and our Android app. And following us, of course, The Villain's View, from pre-show from 8:30, main kick it off, full gear, full throttled show from 9 p.m. We will take you at a minimum until 7 o'clock. If the conversation continues, such it does. If it doesn't, we'll see you next week. That's how it goes. A little loose here on the program as we get back into the swing of things after a short summer off. Getting our sea legs again, folks, as they say. But if you have comments and questions, throw them into the chat. I will see them. I will ask them. Our guest is my cousin. Among the very long list of achievements in his life, down very much at the bottom in very, very small font, the fact that we are related. My cousin Keith is running for re-election for the town council in the western New Jersey town of Phillipsburg, my hometown. And where my mother still resides, by the way, which I'm sure you know.
And I'm sure. Make sure she votes. Is she going to need a ride to the polls on Tuesday? I can arrange it.
I don't know. She might. She was never the strict voter in the family. You know, that was Pop. He was the one who never missed an election. He's the one that taught me how to vote and taught me the importance of it. Maybe that's a good place to kick off the second half hour here of the program. Is as you are knocking doors and holding events and so on throughout town, what's the enthusiasm rate, if there is one? Does it appear that turnout will be good? Turnout in odd year elections is generally quite poor. But is this year different? Are you finding enthusiasm? Are you finding people who have voted early? Are you finding people who have made a commitment to you to go to the polls on Tuesday?
I think turnout is going to definitely be increased for an off-year election because in Phillipsburg it isn't anything but an off-year election. We have the rare occurrence where all 5 council seats are up. 2 of them will be for a 2-year term because I believe it was back in January, 2 Republican council people resigned. And ironically enough, from infighting on the Republican side, I didn't get involved in that, but that's their own fight. So they were replaced, but council voted on the replacements. But because of that, there's a special election for 2 of the council seats for 2-year terms. I'm up for a 4-year term with Lee Clark and Bernie Fay. So all 5 council seats are up, so turnout should be high in Phillipsburg because of that. And also you factor in the governor's race, which the other day, the candidate for lieutenant governor, Democratic candidate for lieutenant governor, Dale Caldwell, visited Phillipsburg. He came in on his campaign bus. And there was a advanced person came in from the Democratic National Committee to Phillipsburg prior to this visit. So they have their eyes on it, on the governor's race. And in a small way in Phillipsburg too. They know Phillipsburg is purple. Phillipsburg can help carry Mikey Sherrill along in her effort to get elected governor. So yeah, I think turnout is going to be, at least in Phillipsburg, is going to be high. And from what I heard, knocking doors, we actually get information back as far as who has voted by mail, who has already early voted. Early voting ended today, and that feedback we're getting is encouraging.
What kind of where you stand on the governor's race? I know you're a Democrat. I'm sure obviously you're supporting Mikey Sherrill. I get that part. But what about enthusiasm or attention, turnout surrounding the governor's race? I'm sure it's something that comes up when you're knocking doors as somebody mentions it to you. It's all, it's all one election. What is the sense that you're getting from the governor's race? It is, of course, a race of national attention, as it generally is coming after a presidential year. There's a gubernatorial election in New Jersey each time. What are you sensing about the governor's race in New Jersey?
I'm feeling good about it. Mikey Sherrill also came to Phillipsburg about 2 months ago and visited our headquarters. Again, for them to come to a small town like Phillipsburg, that just shows how important it is. And I think people are disillusioned with Donald Trump. I think maybe even some of the people that voted for him, with the tariffs, with the cost of things, they're thinking maybe we need to pump the brakes here on Mr. Trump and make sure we have a Democrat to kind of be a firewall against some of the things he's doing.
Phillipsburg, for a small town, is quite multicultural. There you will see shades of color, ranging the spectrum in the human experience. I'm wondering how there hasn't been, that I've seen reported, any ICE activity in a small town like Phillipsburg, but I'm wondering what the shadow of that might be casting across the town.
I haven't seen any ICE activity firsthand, but I'm sure it's on everyone's mind. Like, as you said, the demographics of Phillipsburg has changed quite a bit since we grew up here, and you said it's multicultural. It's kind of like a mini New York, where you have Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx. Phillipsburg has its own little pockets. Purcell Hill, the Flats, Hillcrest. The same thing, and there's different, cultural differences in each one of those sections of town. So, like I said, it's kind of like a mini New York City in that respect.
Is there?
So yeah, the ICE question, I'm sure it's on everyone's mind. I haven't seen any activity here yet, and thankfully not.
Is there fear of it?
I haven't firsthand heard any fear, but I don't think it's anything. It's something that people don't talk about, especially people that may be affected by it, or think they may be affected by it. Maybe they don't want to draw attention to it.
Speak it into existence.
Yeah.
Has it been a topic in your conversations with the police department about how the town would handle cooperation or lack of cooperation?
Well, the main thing as far as the police go, not so much like immigration, but as for crime, they have, crime has increased in Phillipsburg recently. So there is cooperation with the state police, with the U.S. Marshals, things like that, to kind of come in and get a hold of the crime situation. So, but nothing as far as ICE goes. No, not specifically ICE.
I realize that you're running for town council, and these are two different governing bodies. But if I could ask your opinion, at a time now where the United States Department of Education has, for all intent and purposes, been shuttered, as predicted on this program, thank you very much. Has there been a year that you can recall where school board elections have been more important than they are this year?
Well, they are this year because two of my running mates for council currently serve on the school board, so they're going to be replaced. So that makes a school board election equally important. So there are 3 seats up. Unfortunately, there are only 3 candidates for school board. But I am the council liaison to the school board. Council gets different responsibilities outside of council meetings to, one goes to the planning board, one goes to the school board, and so forth. So I attend all the school board meetings, and I think our school board right now does a great job.
Has the town seen any effect from the lack of money from the federal government, especially now that the Department of Education, again, other than its responsibilities to collect student loan debt, seems to be shut down?
Yeah, well, again, the school board has done well the last couple of years because they are getting less money. And what they did is, as teachers retire, they don't get replaced. Well, they've been managing until now, but sooner or later, you are going to feel the effect of that.
What do you hear when you knock on the doors? What are the What are the big issues in town? What do you hear? It's usually local property taxes, and you mentioned before about garbage pickup and snow removal, and I got a pothole in front of my house. But in this time in our country where it seems like politics, national politics, has never been more local, what do you hear when you're knocking doors? What are people bringing up to you? Are they bringing up national issues? Or are they bringing up state issues? Are they bringing up only local? All of the above?
What you get as far as the national feedback is strictly the craziness of Donald Trump. We have to do what we can to, again, kind of keep him in check. But mostly local, and this is always on a local level, is taxes are a big issue.
Yeah.
Now, 4 years ago, the Republicans ran on no new taxes the last 4 years, no new taxes the next 4 years. That was on their mailer they sent out. Well, we hung on to that mailer because when our Republican mayor was elected 2 years ago, the first thing he did is raise property taxes 11%. 11%. So we're like, okay, well, what's that all about? Well, what it was, our Republican mayor is, now we have a Faulkner Act form of government, so you have a strong mayor with a council. Our mayor has a full-time job outside of being a mayor. And to me, he's so far been a part-time mayor, and that tax increase was a direct result of what they called a reorganization of municipal services. So new hires and promotions to kind of compensate for the mayor not being able to be a full-time mayor. And we're talking like huge salaries. Okay, so that's where the 11% tax increase came from. Of course, they argue that's for different reasons, but that's what it was for.
And do people know that?
Pardon me?
Do you think people know that?
A lot of people know it, and hopefully they know it. The people that voted already, hopefully they know it, and the people that vote on Tuesday, hopefully they know it. I think they do. Listen, you increase taxes, that sticks with residents and voters. It's funny how the Republicans always refer to Democrats as the tax and spend liberals.
Mm-hmm.
And in Phillipsburg, it seems to be the opposite. I've been very, very conservative in my voting on budget issues to try to hold taxes down. Because, listen, people can't afford any more taxes here in Phillipsburg. So I look at everything that they spend money on, and I voted against things. And right now, we are in a 3-2 minority, Democrats on council. So most votes we get outvoted 3-2. And the budget's one of them. I've actually had some property owners in town tell me they've never seen anything like it. It seems like the Republicans vote like Democrats, and the Democrats vote more like Republicans as far as fiscal responsibility here.
Well, doesn't that really go to prove the fact that there's a difference between MAGA Republicanism and conservatism?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, there are some conservatives I really admire. Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger. Do I agree with their politics? Probably not on most things, but they're not completely out of their mind. And just I have to hand it to those two, and some of the other Republicans that have taken a stand, because there are others on the other side. Jack Ciattarelli, in my mind, is one of them. Tom Kean Jr. is one of them. They are afraid of Donald Trump. And
is Mr. Ciattarelli, is he afraid of Donald Trump, or is he trying to be him?
He needs his endorsement. So I think he's changed his tune. Listen, Tom Kean's father was a moderate Republican governor.
Fiscally irresponsible, but moderate. Yeah.
Yeah, and I look at Tom Kean Jr. just blindly going along with Donald Trump just so because that congressional district, which will be voted on in New Jersey next year, in Congressional District 7 in New Jersey, he's going to be targeted big time by the Democrats. And there's quite an impressive field already lining up to take him on.
Oh, we know about that here. Yeah, we know about our own congressional 7th over here. Yeah, we're aware of that. You mentioned earlier that I believe it's you said half the people in town are renters. Do they understand what property taxes mean to them? They're paying property taxes. Whether they're paying them directly or not is irrelevant, but they're paying them. They're paying the landlord's property taxes. They're paying it one way or another. Do they understand how important of an issue that is?
They do, because they have an interest in where the tax dollars go, whether they paid them or not. The tax dollars, school tax and, everything that goes into the budget that serves the people of Phillipsburg, Department of Public Works, the police, they certainly have an interest in all that.
Because there continues to be a theory that renters don't have the same buy-in, quote unquote, that other folks do, that homeowners do. You think that's do you think that's true? Or to some extent, or depends on the individual.
Yeah, maybe on a certain level, they're involved in a different way, but certainly, like I said, they have an interest in where the tax dollars go and how it affects them. They have kids that go to school. Okay, they have services that have to be provided for them. So yeah, absolutely, they have an interest in it, and hopefully, they all get out to vote too, to represent themselves.
I have mentioned on the programs too many times, I believe there will be elections next year. I do not know if they will be free, open, and fair. Am I an alarmist, or are you concerned as well?
I think everybody's concerned, and that's all the more reason that this election, before any changes can be made, any election, like I said, from the bottom up, you have to take a stand and to prevent anything like this happening. It has to happen now. I'm going to tell you, 4 years ago, when I was elected with my running mate Lee Clark, there were 3 council seats up that year. Our third running mate missed out by 15 votes. So people who say that my vote doesn't count or they don't bother to vote, 15 votes. Or if he had gotten 16 votes, the Democrats would have been the majority, and things in this town would have looked a lot different. Over 15 votes. Think about that.
What are the big platform planks that you and your running mates are running on?
Actually, well, number one, as usual, holding the line on taxes. We're going to take a look at the municipal budget. There are certainly cuts to be made, and not painful cuts, just sensible cuts. And then looking at responsible, common sense development. There's opportunity on our riverfront. There are opportunities on our main street for businesses to come in. You have to be kind of a salesman. That's one thing I admire from the mayor of Easton across the river from Sal Panto. He sells Easton. He has all these festivals and everything. Any reason to bring people in to show off his town, he does it. And we need to do the same. I think we can certainly take what Easton has done and apply it to Phillipsburg and make some progress finally.
You can pave South Main Street. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I have a Jeep, and thank God I do, because I think if I had any other type of car, I'm not sure how many trips up and down South Main it would survive. At least I own a vehicle that was built for it.
They were doing a bunch of utility
Yeah.
I think it's slated to be repaved finally. But yeah, as you said, it's
Needs to
long
be
overdue.
milled and
Well,
paved the right way.
It's
Yeah.
funny how just before an election, all of a sudden there will be some kind of progress made. Like,
Yeah, right. Yes. The majority of paving work gets done right before an election. There's no
That's right.
question. There's no doubt about it. How do people find you, follow you? How do they follow the election as we come up to the top of the hour and the end of the program? How do people follow you, find you, see what you're doing, follow the election? What's the ways that you recommend?
Well, the best way would be to get on our Facebook page, which is 4 for Phillipsburg, FOUR with a number 4 for Phillipsburg. If you type that in, you'll find it. And it has all of our bio information, where we stand on the issues, where the race stands, our opinions, and what we plan to do moving forward is all on that Facebook page. And there's also 4 for Phillipsburg webpage, but the Facebook page sees a lot more activity as far as like staying current with the campaign.
You mentioned earlier on that you're an optimist, generally.
Yeah.
Why? What makes you optimistic about the future, if not your own personal future, or the town's future, your political future? What makes you optimistic?
I think the fact that we still have the opportunity to do something about it instead of just being discouraged all the time. Again, there's potential in Phillipsburg, but I'm tired of talking about potential. Okay, let's do something about it, and you have to believe it'll happen, and it can happen. A couple years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. When you get that diagnosis, that'll change your outlook on life, and you have to have a positive attitude to get through it. And thankfully, I had successful surgery and treatments and so forth, and as of now, I'm cancer-free. But to get through that, you better have a positive outlook and to try to get through it. And I carried that off into other aspects of my life.
Are you optimistic? When you wake up Wednesday morning, how do you think you're going to feel?
Hopefully tired from a celebration. But if the Democrats get a majority, and if all 4 of us win, that'll give us a super majority, in which case we can it'll be veto proof, or Republican mayor. So we can kind of hold his feet to the fire and get things going here. So hopefully all 4 of us will win. I will feel really happy on Wednesday if that happens, and I'll be really happy for the people of Phillipsburg. And hopefully we can make all of them happy once we get on council.
Before we wrap up, is there any questions that you think I forgot to ask, or any answers that you didn't get to fully suss out because I blabbered and cut you off, or anything else? I just want to open the floor to you for any final thoughts that you might have before we wrap up.
The only thoughts, again, I can't say it enough. Everyone, if you haven't mailed in a vote, if you haven't voted early, please go to the polls on Tuesday and vote. People have died for this right. Okay? Again, you can't complain if you don't vote, and I'll come back again. When a race is decided by 15 votes in a town of 15,000 people, that shows how important every vote is. So that's the only thing I wanted to add at the end, just to remind people. And if you're discouraged about what Donald Trump is doing, or any of the other MAGA people that are in office right now, this is your first opportunity to do something about it.
That is it for us for this week. I told you that when we returned from this very, very long break that we would probably be doing shorter hour shows on Sundays, not the normal 3 hours that we were doing previous. And I am holding to that because I'm absolutely drop dead exhausted, as I generally am from my wonderful, wonderful health. I'm about ready to just fall over. So that is going to be it for us for tonight. I want to thank my cousin, not just the candidate, but I want to thank my cousin for being here. as we continue to get our feet wet again and rebuild the program from a very, very summer may have felt short to most of you. It felt short to me, but it was a long break to take off from the program. So I want to thank you all for being back with us again, for being part of our radio family, and that we will return to you next Sunday to break down all of the election results from across the country, all the big races, the gubernatorial race in New Jersey and Virginia, legislative races throughout the country, judicial races, especially here for retention races here in Pennsylvania, and of course Proposition 50 in California. I have not discussed with the GCPR crew about whether we will be going live on election night. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned to Thomas for that. You'll hear more about that as we get closer to Tuesday. Well, you think we're close enough to Tuesday already anyway. It's a day and a half away, but you get my point. For everyone at hot101.net, that's DJ Lex, DJ Earl, and the entire hot101.net family, the music returns as soon as we are done. We will return to you next Sunday from 6 p.m. Thank you so very, very much for giving us an hour of your time, your busy time. To the listeners for hot101.net, literally around the globe, thank you so much. Join us on the Facebook page, The Kennedy Effect on Facebook. Talk to us, send comments, send article suggestions, send postings, interact with us when we're not here live on the air. Again, for hot101.net, thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your broadcast day. The music returns right now. For GCPR, the Villain's View pre-show starts around 8:30. You got a break. Take the dog for a walk, get some milk and cookies, relax, catch up on the highlights of the NFL from the day, and come back here around 8:30. Pre-show for the Villain's View. The show goes full throttle live from 9 p.m. T. Nathan, conversations with T. Nathan from 11 p.m. and The Sound of Coffee kicks off your broadcast week tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. For everyone at GCPR, that's Thomas and Gilbert and Gambit and the entire GCPR family, we thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your Sunday. We will return next Sunday from 6 p.m. Until then, The Villain's View from 8:30, T. Nathan from 11, Thomas from 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Take care. We will see you again. Like I said, take a little break. Take the dog for a walk, get some milk and cookies, do whatever you want to do. 8:30 Villain's View. We'll see you next week. For our viewers on our video streaming platforms, thank you so much for being with us again. I told you there was going to be shorter shows, and there are shorter shows, but we will be back next week. And no matter what you do, vote. Vote. Don't let them ever take your vote from you. Your vote is your voice. Even if you go claim that ballot and you turn the thing back in completely blank, that's your vote. Be heard. This is your chance to be heard. There are no off years. There are election years that end in odd numbers. There are no off years. Get out there and vote. Judges, school boards, town councils, borough councils, township councils, county executives, judges, you name it, governors, you name it, those, and of course Prop 50 in California. Those elections are happening. Be a part of them. Be heard. We will return to you next Sunday from 6. Until then, we've done about all the damage we can do. For myself, for Kristen, for Daisy the dog, and April Riddick, and of course George and Lynn, everybody that surrounds the program, thanks for being with us. We've done about all the damage we can do for 1 week.